Welcome to another episode of Media Unscripted. Today, we're talking deepfakes. As generative AI is reshaping media, it fuels new ways to create, but it also powers deepfakes and synthetic content that threatens trust at scale. For news, sports, entertainment, advertising, the line between real and fake is blurring, and that's the risk the TV media industry cannot afford to ignore. That's why I'm very excited to welcome Marco Ramilli, CEO and co-founder of IdentifAI, one of the true deepfake prevention pioneers. Welcome to Media Unscripted, Marco.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. Marco, your background is in cybersecurity, and
Right.
IdentifAI isn't your first venture and innovation, isn't it? So you know the tech, the use cases, and the pain points very well. When did you first see deepfakes shift from a novelty to a genuine global threat?
Well, I think it was a couple of years ago. I was running under the raining, actually, and some people of mine phoned me and said, Marco, look at that. There is a pope that is dressing a very fancy jacket,
Oh yes, the
and
puffer jacket, I remember.
yeah, yeah, that one. And I saw that picture, and actually I was not interested in that. I said, well, it is raining, it's cold. Where is the problem? But online, many people starting, yelling, starting complain about that jacket, since it was maybe too fancy for a pope, or I don't know.
Wow,
And
it just looks
and
so
yeah.
fake and so wrong.
Yeah, and at the end, after a couple of hours, the policy, they said, they wrote a communique that says, "Hey guys, this is not true. This is not a real image." But nobody cares about that. Even if it was not a reality, even if it was not real, people were polarized, and they were just following on their own path. And so, many people that were, saying, hey, okay, maybe this is not a real jacket, but who knows how many jewelry, who knows how many houses or other kind of jackets the Pope has in,
Yeah.
and so, after that, I decided that, that we could do something. I mean, if there is techniques that is able to generate content such that people are not able to understand if it is real or not, probably there should be another technology that gives a chance to the people to to check and to understand if what they are seeing is real or not. And so that is the beginning, the very beginning.
Yeah, in the rain. So I think
Yeah,
it was it Pythagoras that had his genius moment in the bath. So there's a water association. No, it wasn't
yeah,
Pythagoras. I can't remember who it was. Shouted
I
Eureka.
don't remember too.
And then talking of Pope, do you remember before the latest conclave, there was Mr. Trump deepfaked as Pope. So, and we've got
Yeah,
an American Pope. So deepfakes touch politics, finance, media, and beyond. So
yeah.
it's not just TV. I mean, I'm firmly in the TV and content world, but there's just like the whole world of deepfakes that we don't think of applications. But in TV specifically, where growth depends on trust, I
Yeah.
feel, and brand safety. What risk do you see if this problem isn't solved?
I think that televisions, broadcast medias, they have the possibility, the ability, to spread message all over the world, and we to many people. So if you start to show an image, a video, or a sound that is not real, the risk is that people start to feel something. And if you see a little girl in a war environment, you feel something bad, you change opinion.
Mm.
And so the media, together with the bad information, fake news, and to the ability, to change the reality, to showing something that is not real, can change the opinions of people. And if you apply this concept to social media, like TikTok, Instagram, and so on and so forth, many people can feel the same feelings, and can change mind. And once they can change mind, they can vote for wrong,
Yeah.
with wrong information, and taking wrong decisions, and so on. So I really believe that there is a huge need, talking about, in the humanity, for being free to decide. And so we need to really understand what we are seeing in order to engage in a better way, in order to have the right engagement with the content. So we need to know if the content is real or AI generated, so we can prepare ourselves to
Yes.
engage in the right way.
I agree, especially media, especially TV and now
Right.
social media. It's such an influence, not only on young people, because we are hanging up about, oh, it's, young people. No, everyone. I do doom
Yeah.
scrolling to put myself to sleep sometimes too.
Yeah.
And I guess that's why propaganda got such a good history of being very effective, deep fakes or not. But so, yes, I completely agree. But how does Identify AI platform actually detects manipulated content across video and images? And I believe, if I remember correctly, it's not just Gen AI content; it's just any manipulated content. Am I right?
Yeah, so we basically developed some models that we call them degenerative. So on one hand, we have the generative AI technology. On the other hand, we have degenerative technology. So the idea is to take as an input artifacts like images, video, or sounds, and to decompose them, understanding if they have been generated or not. So today is quite easy to do, manipulated content.
Mm.
And for instance, if you focus right now on my face, I can change my face very, very quickly with just, a click. And
Lovely.
and so you see that I'm not the person that I was before. So that is very it's very hard to be detected by human eyes. But our degenerative models, that are artificial intelligence trained models, can understand if somebody changed his face in this way. So we developed this technology, and we are bringing to people and to companies, actually, that capability through API or web interface or agents, so that they can integrate and they can use our degenerative models in a better way, as they prefer.
But it's just fascinating how it's constantly chasing what the fakers come up with. How do you ensure that your models stay effective against all this constantly changing threat?
Yeah, yeah. So that is probably the most hard part of our job.
Mm.
So once we have developed the models, the difficult part is to maintain those models up to date. So we developed a pipeline of technology. It's a mix between technology and people, where people constantly discover, understand if on the web or on the dark web or on the deep web, there are new models that are available. And then we take artifacts from those models. So we buy from them, or we generate if the code is available. And then once we have artifacts such as videos, images, or voices, we train our new models. So that is the way we guarantee. So of course we cannot guarantee 100% of accuracy. There is not 100% guarantee, since if it was, there would be not necessity of our solution. I mean, if there is only one stop solution, that is not a problem actually. But since there is not a one-stop solution, we need to be very, very focused on discovering and new training. So actually, as you said before, I come from a previous company where we were fighting malware, and we were detonating almost 2 million malware per day. And on those 2 million malware per day, we discovered almost 10,000 new families per day.
Wow.
So, we are accustomed, our technology is accustomed to search and to deal with many new generators and many new families and new discoveries. But here in the AI world, we are more lucky since there are just 20, 23, 25 new generators per month. So not per month. So it's quite easy so far for our technology. But we know that in the future is going to be different, but we are ready for that.
It's fascinating. But I remember the first time I think I've spoken to you or somebody from your team, and somebody gave me an example of insurance claims being manipulated too.
Right.
Which we think about the deep fakes, the news, Tom Cruise, deep fakes, and Pope and all that, but it's an insurance claim that anybody can now fake. So who are the types of organizations outside of media using IdentifAI today? Governments, financial institutions?
Yeah, we have very different use cases. So from, of course, governments and financial institutions are the most probably obvious ones, since they need on one side to discover propaganda, on the other side they need to figure out if the other person on the screen is real or not, if they want a mortgage, or if they want to open up a new bank account. But then we have many different use cases, for instance, on football. So new guys, new person, guys that they are playing football, they want to rise a better league, and so they want to be hired from the top league. So the top teams. So they are sending to them videos about how they are playing. And so some of them are modified in order to make them a little bit better than what they really are. So in the process of yeah, it's crazy. From the process before hiring a new soccer player, there is still somebody who goes to watch them in the real field, of course. But those guys, the one that are the observer, the one who are going into the real field to see, are few people. Instead, there are many young guys that they want to enter in the major league, and so those few people need to decide where to go, and so they decide depending on the videos that they see. So that is another funny use case. Yeah. Then we have ticket expensiveness. So there are some people that they are using artificial intelligence to modify taxi tickets for getting a refund from the company. And so instead of $15, they modify the number of 35, or so on and so forth. And after a month of reimbursements, it's a fraud. It's a fraud. Then we have other use case from let's say houses. So often people for rebuild their house ask money from bank, and the bank gives money depending on the working status of the house. So the bank doesn't give you instantly 100% of what you ask it, but they gives you depending on the progress that you are doing on the house. And so in order to verify and to prove the progress, They just make picture of houses that doesn't exist, and they
Genius.
modify, yeah, and they get money, and the bank never know that, since there are many of them, and so probably they will know later in a couple of years, but
I'm
not
almost
now.
thinking, are you planning a B2C version of your tool? So us as individuals can protect ourselves from scams? Because corporates is one thing, but it's almost, I would like to, because I sent you earlier in the week, I think it was from Vinted, the online marketplace
Yeah,
for used clothing. People, what was it? There was an article, people are fake, ripped holes in clothing when they are perfectly fine. So that's me as an individual. I would love to be able to verify that this video or the
yeah,
picture was real.
yeah, yeah. There are many use cases in e-commerce, or in in booking, for instance, booking a new apartment or booking a new hotel. So yes, we have released a free version
Okay.
that everybody can use. The free version is not as power. I mean, is not as strong as the pro version for for business. It's actually a couple of version behind, so it could be not as much as precise, as accurate as the pro version, the one that we use for businesses, but at least it's something that people can use for free. So just getting on our website, and then push clicking on get try IdentifAI, and then they can use it for free. So
I'll
again,
put the link into the description of the video. So
right,
I think
thanks.
that every customer, every person should start using it just to protect ourselves. It's crazy out there, by the
Yeah,
sound of things. But you've just raised 5 million euros or dollars.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
Congratulations. So you'll be scaling
thanks.
Identify AI with these funds. What are your top priorities? Technology, team, market expansions?
Yeah. So the 5 million euro came after the 2.5 millions that we already raised in pre-seed. And the target of this money is marketing and expansion in EMEA. So
Okay.
we will develop new technology with, let's say, 40% of that money, and for the 60% of the money, we start, partnership in EMEA and all around the world, basically, in order to take our technology, to bring our technology to many companies as possible.
This is brilliant. I mean, congratulations. You're doing
Thank
so,
you.
you're going so strong. And finally, if you had one piece of advice for leaders, for corporates, for governments, whether in TV, government, or business, about preparing for the deepfake era or epidemic, by the sound of things, what mindset shift should they adopt today?
We should act in a couple of ways. The first one is try to regulate the AI generations, like Europe is doing through the AI Act.
Hmm.
And with that in mind, when we see something that is exceptional, or when we see something that is curious or funny, we just need to think about, but is it real? And I know that this is something that years ago we hadn't. So years ago were easy, the life in internet, since if you were seeing something that was real, actually, or there were a high probability that this was real. Today is not like that. Today is we need to regulate and force social media or media to say, to advise, to tag the image or video by saying, hey guys, this video is not real, it's been generated with AI. And on the other hand, as a consumer, we need to express doubts every time that we see something, and try to use technology like Identify to prove that they are real or not.
Yeah, this is a scary but
Yeah.
fascinating world evolving. I remember I used to say, gosh, I'm so glad that I'm not 15 when the social media started, because
Yeah.
I just find it so difficult for the kids. But what's coming is even more difficult. But thank you so much for all
Thank you.
the insight and the introduction. I mean, it's just like a new world opening up. I'll put all the links to your product in the video, so hopefully we can spread the word, because I feel that you are men on the mission, as I said, and we need to support you in that. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much.
Marco, and
Thank
see
you
you
so
very
much.
soon. So there you go. Deepfakes are no longer a novelty. They are becoming an epidemic that touches every part of life in business, finance, and media. Marco reminded us that regulation like the EU AI Act is essential, but technology like IdentifAI is the frontline defense, I feel. And this matters for TV too. Growth isn't just about new formats or monetization models. It's about trust, experience, and trust. If audiences can't trust what they see, credibility erodes. If advertisers can't be sure their messages run in a safe environment, revenue is at risk. That's why deepfake prevention is becoming the unseen infrastructure protecting both audiences and brands. And without it, TV may grow in scale, but shrinks in credibility. So don't forget, there's a free B2C version of IdentifAI linked in the description of this video. And I'm looking forward to the Media Unscripted episode, next one already. Hopefully you too. See you soon.